came out here to try, and that's exactly what I did. I came out here to just try and see what would happen, and look how far you got. You didn't need to make huge moves because you had a good thing going, and you kept it going. So great job.
Good job, both of you. And congratulations. I'm smelly, but
Yes.
but no, you did great, truly.
Okay.
You know, I'll admit right up front, when I saw the application and saw the video, I was like, yeah, she's fine.
Yeah.
But
Average. That's what everyone said.
But the thing is, though, I've written about it in blogs before, there's something known as survivor mediocrity.
Yeah.
Which is, those people are dangerous.
Yeah.
Because they don't stand out, but
Yes.
but you had, like, you understood the
That's
game.
been my argument the whole time.
And having that skill set without having the skills that make people say we got to gun you down, gets you here, gets you to the final seats.
That's what people have been telling me to put in my application, because I don't think I was super weak in any of the challenges. There's a few of them that I could definitely work on, like swimming, but I was never super weak, but I was never super strong, so no one was ever like looking at me in either of those directions. And yeah, I've always, that's been my claim, take the average person.
But the not average
Yes.
person, right?
Yes.
I also admired the fact I also am a teacher.
Yes.
And I do Classroom Survivor,
Yes.
have for
Oh my
years.
gosh, yes.
Yeah, you have to. You
Yes,
have to
it's
weave
so-
it in,
yes,
right?
yes, I
and
love
and
it.
it keeps it on your mind all the time.
And it brings a new generation into watching Survivor.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's part of our job,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So, first night, my impression was you looked around and you thought, I have some pieces here, but you weren't sure if it was going to work out.
Yes. Well, the first night, Courtney and I looked at each other and we said, these personalities, Jack, Jill, Justin, are just so great. They're so, and they just talked all night, and they were such good conversationalists. And we, holy crap, like, what have we gotten ourselves into? Courtney and I didn't say a word for a long time, and we're looking at each other like, oh my God. And they had great stories, and we were just kind of observing. And so we looked at each other and we said, we need to stick together. And then Justin, I went to the summit with Jack, and so Jack and I kind of met up, and then the four of us kind of said young people to the end. But
And in that early on, like, you guys were talking, both of you in your confessionals talked
Yes.
about, I like her, and
Yes.
she said she likes me.
Yes.
And you see those pieces come together, and on the flip side, there was Justin and Jack, and they're both thinking they're both with
Yes.
you, and so it felt very balanced.
Yes.
And that's the kind of thing you have to put together
Yes.
to move through the game. But then it got broken up.
Yeah.
Were there any points in the game when the pieces scattered where you were like, I'm screwed?
the only time I was nervous was going into that 4 pairs of 2. And I went with Justin. I was afraid to go with anyone else, honestly. I trusted Justin. And he was, like I said, such a good conversationalist. And he was just going to talk to everyone. And he told me going in, like, Maria, don't get offended if I don't talk to you. That doesn't mean I'm not going with you. I just don't want people to know how close we were. And I thought that was brilliant. Like, yes, let's not show people how close we are. Let's make our own vibes and then make a decision. And honestly, from that point on, and this sounds so confident after the fact, but I felt super balanced the whole way. I felt like I always had an option for either way to go, which I was trying to explain to the jury. Apparently they didn't get it, but like, I felt like I always had a way out, you know?
Well, it's that delicate balance, right, in the game where you can argue everything on Survivor from both
Yes.
sides, where the argument, well, there's a reason why so many of us wanted to go to the end with you,
Yes.
because we thought we could beat you. Well,
Yes.
the flip side of that is all of you wanted to go to the end with me because we made a connection,
Yes.
and I made myself useful to
And
you, and isn't that
yes.
Survivor?
Yes, and I felt like I had so much control the whole time, which I don't think they realized, because Justin had to feel the target on his back. He was athletic, he was working with a bunch of girls for a long time, and I never felt that target, and I always felt like I was the king piece, like I can go Justin and Courtney, or I can go Hannah and Katie. So
Do you think that they didn't see that you didn't articulate it enough, or that it wasn't going to matter what you said, that they had their minds made up?
I think that they had their minds made up. Actually, when Courtney and I were waiting and we were thinking about what we were going to say, I heard them all talking, and it was like, so you're going to do Courtney, right? You're going to, I think, or it might not have even been them. It might have been the audience, but I think that people were rooting for Courtney. She was on a PZ where they got decimated, and I totally respect that she made it through that. I was so excited that she made it through that. And like you said, I think, well, as the jury said, I guess I didn't make enough connections with those early on merge people, but, and I wanted to say this to Desiree, but she didn't give me a chance to. She cut me off. But our tribe going into it, we're so afraid of idols. If they play an idol right, we're gone. So we all picked a person. So Courtney was going to babysit Desiree. I was going to babysit Rachel. Like, we all had someone we were going to babysit. So the reason I didn't talk to all of them is because I was babysitting Rachel. So it's just...
Whose idea was that?
Oh man, that... When Dion was in, Dion might have suggested it, or Justin, I forget who it was, but we knew we had to keep, because we didn't know when we were going to merge, and it kept being even to even, so we wanted to make sure that no one was off by themselves.
Because that feels like one of those survivor strategies which makes complete sense.
Yes.
Incredibly useful.
Yes.
Babysit.
Yes.
But it also is when you have someone who's orchestrating a lot, say maybe
Yes.
with Justin,
Yes.
it keeps you focusing on that one piece.
Yes, exactly.
So that you don't start exploring other pieces.
Yes, and I saw that in Justin, which is why I was like, I need to get this full out.
When did you guys decide collectively, like, he's got to get going?
Honestly, I thought that probably when I was on the second day Tocho Tribe. So I was on Tocho second day and third day. And the second day Tocho Tribe, I'm running numbers and I'm like, there's no way Justin, like, he's going to beat me. He's just so, like, everyone was calling him Kind Eyes, like, oh Justin, we have a nickname for you, it's Smiley, it's Kind Eyes. And I'm like, okay, I'm getting probably like permanent mad face, or I don't even know. So like, I don't know. So I knew that I needed, that's when I started thinking
What did
about
Jenna suffer from? RBF?
That's what I was gonna say. RBF.
It's all right. You can go ahead and say that.
Yes, RBF. So I've been told that I have that. And once you start to get me talking, I tend to not stop smiling. But like when I'm, yes. But that night, and then when it happened to be when Jack and Joe were picking, and I had that option to go for original Peasy or for second day Tojo. I was like, this is so fantastic. I can not use him, I love him, but I can work with Justin until it gets to the nitty gritty, and then I take him out.
What do you think happens if he plays his idol rather than keeping in his pocket?
I know.
I can tell you from the production side of things, like, we knew he had the idol, and setting aside like, oh my god, he didn't play it, but if your guys' reaction, it's that thing like, they don't know, he's gonna play it there, who goes, what happens, and it was just like seeing the look on all your faces, like, oh my god, you really had no clue.
And everyone, like I said, before Tribals, all 5 of them would come to me, and they're like, Summer, we're good, and so I was talking to Justin, Jay, it's you and me, it's always been you and me. And he was like, I know, Maria, I fully trust you. And they came out to me and they're like, do you think he has an idol? I said, I've been with him every single day, the whole day, all of the time. There's no way he has one. The only time he could have I thought he could have gotten one was at the original Peasy Tribe, and Bill got ours. So like, I had absolutely no idea, and when our hearts dropped when he, like, that was so close.
How close you were to devastation.
Oh my gosh, because it wouldn't have been terrible. We knew we had to get Hannah out eventually, and I believe his vote went for Hannah. They didn't show it, but we knew we had to get rid of Hannah eventually too, but he would have come back livid, and he would have been livid at me, so I don't know what would have happened.
Maybe you guys would have had to take a couple more shots at him if he didn't win immunity.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
Any part of your game I haven't asked about it, because we've had so many conversations. I think we've got a sense for, you made the human connections you needed to. You made yourself a very versatile and flexible, adaptable game. You found yourself there. What would you tweak that you think would give you the win?
Oh gosh. I think honestly, just talking to those 4 that were voted out, they talk about a lot during Survivor. There's usually a governor at Ponderosa that is swinging people one way or the other, and it was so obvious during the tribal council that Desiree and Bryce were just like, Maria does not deserve this, guys. Let's talk about why. And like you saw Desiree not give me a chance to speak, and we're all good now. But I honestly did not. Going into the merge, I had talked to not a single one of those people the entire time. That tribe that Jack picked, the only person I knew was Jack. So, which worked really well for me, numbers way in my tribe, but that disadvantage where I didn't have any connections to make once we merged.
So there's game and there's experience. How was this for you?
Oh, it was so much fun. I don't know if you guys heard, and I blew it on that trivia challenge, but Justin would constantly say, like, Maria and Jack just are encyclopedias. They know everything about this game. I study it. I love it. So this was fantastic for me. And you guys did such a good job.
You got a little taste.
I did.
Will we see you again?
I hope so. I hope so, for sure. It's been a lot of fun.
It's been a joy seeing your game evolve.
Thank you.
Over the days. Either one of you would have been worthy.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, we'll get back to your fans
Thank
over
you.
there.
Thank
and your
you.
internet fans. You might even have some internet stalkers now.
I heard that Sandra was rooting for Courtney, and I'm like, oh my
Damn
gosh.
it.
I'm like, Sandra's watching, but also Sandra.